I used to be somebody before that freak Ayuz sent his armies south and ruined everything. We had a nice racket going on in the land of the Freelords, or what the rest of the Flanes calls the Bandit Kingdoms. We had a territory we ran, and we hustled and stole what we could from who we could. Sure, we fought amongst ourselves, and I'd just as soon stick my dagger into someone from the Freelords as anywhere else. But we always banded together when an outside force threatened all of our businesses. But all that changed when Ayuz came a-calling. Half of the Freelords joined forces with Ayuz to save their skins, and the other half got wiped out or sent packing to the other lands, or down into the rift. I was no hero, and neither were any of my mates. So after the massacre of Steelbone Meadows, we did what any guys in our situation would have done. We hightailed it out of there. The only problem is that everywhere we went, there were old enemies waiting. After finally getting corralled by the Urnst soldiers, I was left to rot in a dungeon, waiting for them to decide what to do with me. The way the guards look at us, I don't think we're gonna like what it is they have in store.
All right, so I think everybody should be good. So anyway, we'll start all over again.
Everyone remember everything you said. Let's go.
Yes, and
Pretend
action.
none of that ever happened.
Hey, all I got to say is I didn't set this up.
Right. That's right. You did it. And that's why it fucked up. We even got on early.
We did. Hey, we did what we wanted to do early, sort of, for that.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're back.
So they
we're
heard,
live.
Yeah, they
Maybe
heard,
you can hear us.
They heard everything I said earlier on, so they knew that what was going on is that we're not seeing the normal cast here. There's a bunch of different, names up there under you guys, and so basically, what I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and just clue everybody in. So what's happening in the Bandit Kingdoms? There's a lot more going on than just our press-ganged opportunists. And so now this is the first look into some of the other things that are going on that are all interconnected in this big old web of craziness and crazy things. So you will get to know these guys here. For those of you who are watching, don't think that we are switching characters and you're never going to see three... I was about to say three toes.
There's still a chance that three toes is out there.
Yeah.
Surprises never stop here.
Yeah.
Return to the Bandit Kingdom.
But you are still going to see Silverwolf. You are still going to see all the those are the main individuals in the storyline. So don't think that you're not going to see those guys. So okay. So what we have here?
What the fuck is happening? We don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Two questions from me. Where there'll be fireballs, and when will I get to play? Fireballs and
those are great questions, Lee.
Yeah, man, and you know what, Lee? There's going to be auditions coming in real soon for some stuff, and I'll keep you updated. So, and then we have.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Then we have a turtle down there. So I'm going to let everybody introduce who they're playing tonight, and this is only going to be. Tonight and possibly next Tuesday, so it'll only be like a 2-episode interlude of these characters here before we go back and see how everybody dies in Kinme. I mean,
I feel like you've developed like this structure. It's like all of a sudden in the Quentin Tarantino movie, he goes and explains what's happening now and why you're looking at something different now. Just let it happen. Let it go unfold organically.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. And hey, all I gotta say is
our audience is smart enough to keep up. This is an intelligent group. That's why they're watching Return to the Bandit Kingdoms.
That's true.
R2B King.
And Lee Kim wrote down in there, "Hey Lee, I'm glad that you're out of the hospital, man. I hope you're feeling better." And hopefully too, that whatever was ailing you, man, is gone. So best of wishes, nothing but love for you, brother. You know what I'm saying? You're a man who can rock a beard the proper way. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, So, oh, really?
I think that's
That's a good thing, Lee. That's really good. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead. Yeah, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with Adam. Why don't you go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about who you're playing?
Sure. Hey, everybody. I'm Adam, and tonight I am playing Aelar Mookbrook the Wizard. So, Lee Kim, if you're looking for fireballs, I'm your Huckleberry.
Yep.
He's a well, I won't go into too much detail now, but he's like a real like straight shooter. He's a little different than Silverwolf. He's going to follow the rules to a T, but at the same time, like Silverwolf, nothing he loves more than hurting bad guys.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. So, hey, Juris, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody who and what you're playing and what you're doing?
Sure. I'm going to be playing Yahg. Yahg is a half-orc, and he is a barbarian, but in personality, he's more like a monk. He's very calm, very zen. He worships the god Rao, which is all about peace and reason. And if they need to fight, they will, but they typically look for diplomatic solutions. But then if he does need to fight, he's a barbarian. So we'll see how that goes. And that's Yahg.
That's pretty awesome, actually, is what that is. All right, so next up on the slate will be the lovely Steve. Go ahead, sir.
I'm so lovely.
You are
looking particularly lovely today. Blue is your color. Brings out your eyes.
I would playing Altus Vitan. He is a human cleric of Aelar. He is not much interested in glory or wealth or power. He's more interested in trying to help as many people as he can. So that's the skinny on him anyway.
All right, and last but not least, of course, is always the delightful Michael.
Yeah, and I'm playing Gad with Axe. He is a turtle man here in Greyhawk, from the area known as Yeomanry. And he just used to tour with a few various bands and groups, and kind of got to like their performances and whatnot. So, while he still enjoys his weapons, and he also likes to perform with them. One of the things he likes to do is, while juggling, he walks right up the side of a wall and then down the other side. So that's a fun little act that he likes to do to entertain the kiddies. So,
There you go.
that's Gad.
Or the Raleighs of the world.
Yes.
Absolutely shit for that.
And Lee, I got to tell you, man, he doesn't know what that is.
I do actually.
Do you?
Yeah, I got the what do you call it? The Greyhawk Players Guide.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, and I read through
You've been
some
studying
of it. Some of it. I read through a little of it.
I'm impressed, sir. I'm impressed. All right, so that all having been said and
That's
done,
why also there's some little secret nuggets in there with Silverwolf about his human ancestry, which I don't know if Lee Kim has picked up on any of that yet. If not, go back and watch all 23 episodes.
Lee's actually behind, and I got to say this. Before we get started and whatnot. I dropped a major hint about something that's going on with the entire campaign, and the beauty of it, Lee, is that none of these guys got it. And I was like, if Lee was on, Lee would know who it was. So you're gonna have to.
It wasn't in the players guide that I read.
No, it's like two. No, and it's only for us big Greyhawk buffs. And Lee, it has far more knowledge than I do. That was like, I think that was 3 episodes ago.
That
Roughly.
sounds right.
That sounds about right. Okay, so all right, well, let's go ahead and get started with this episode of the Return to the Bandit Kingdoms. And I don't know if you guys have noticed the theme here, but everybody is pretty much the anti or the opposite of our bandits. These are straight shooters and good guys, man. What the hell? Hopefully they're entertaining. Okay, so we pick up in Radaghast City, the capital, of the county of Urnst. Radaghast was fortunate enough to escape all of the troubles and tribulations, as was the Duchy of Urnst during the Greyhawk Wars. And so it's we start off in the morning in Radaghast City. It's a crisp, again, early autumn, starting to transition a little bit. And it's a cold morning. The ships are just getting ready to go out onto their native, out of the port. And we see these four characters are standing in essentially one of the town squares, not the like main town square, but like a park square with a fountain in the middle. And they've all been had received messages to meet Inspector Schult here. Now, none of you guys.
Sounds like a Nazi. Aren't we supposed to be good guys?
Well, wait. Yeah, I don't know. It's
I
like
know nothing.
right.
Some of those are very kind people.
Yes. It's like, see, now you're gonna make me want to play this dude with a German accent. So you guys had all received messages to meet Schult down at this particular fountain in this particular park, and you guys all happen to gravitate down there, and you have all just met in the park yourselves. There's a couple of people here, but it's still relatively early. It's still got the crispness of the morning air. The sun is, rising, and Radaghast City itself is starting to hum and come to life. And there you go. You guys are all there next to the fountain. You guys just kind of like showed up. You guys haven't seen each other since the last time you guys were out working a job covertly for the county. So this is like you haven't seen each other, I would say, in 3 weeks easy. So
Oh, okay.
yeah. So
in that case, when Yahg sees each of them, he would no words exchanged, but he'd get this very big smile and greet each of them with a very warm embrace.
no, I like this guy.
And it is nice to see you all again. You can't believe where I was. I was sailing across this lake, just going out for a little fishing, and all of a sudden a big shark attacked, and I had to lay in the bottom of the lake while the shark was battering away at my boat. But luckily, with me laying at the bottom of the boat, it couldn't tip it over. And finally, a big swan came flying over and grabbed the shark up out of the water and flew it away. So I was good to go.
That's very.
Dad, I'm pretty sure we've heard this story before, and we didn't believe it then, but it is good to see you, chap.
Of all the birds it could have been.
Yes. And
Sounds
see,
like
Ernst culture is very Saxon in nature, according to Lee King. So as you guys are catching up and giving each other some good ribbing and whatnot, you hear yes, it is very good that you are able to escape the shark. You turn around at the sound of the voice, and the person that you see there is, now you've never met Inspector Schult before, but you've heard of her.
And I know a Nazi when I see one.
Well, she is a short.
Oh, it's a she.
Yeah, it's a girl. She is short. She's probably like 5'2".
She's taller than I am.
Average build. Short, red, like almost rust color hair. Cut almost not militaristic, but she kind of has a little bit of a unisex look to her, because she has a uniform on with a gray. I'm going to go total Nazi on here, dude. She's got a gray uniform with a gray coat. A wide leather, black leather belt, leather boots, and she has a very crisp and demeanor about herself and how she stands and presents herself and what have you. I'm very good to see, happy to see that you all got my invitations to meet me here. I hope everyone is doing fine this fine morning.
It's another lovely day. Thank you, Inspector.
Yes, very much so.
We have heard of her from reputation.
Yes, you've heard of her from her reputation. Essentially, she is not the head of the watch or the guard of Radaghast City, but she is essentially like the go-to girl when it comes to stuff. Basically, criminals shaking their boots when they say Schultz on the case, that sort of thing. And so you have heard of her through that reputation. Like I said, though, you guys have never met her before. Okay. So I'm sure you're all very wondering why I've brought you here, and it's not one of your regular handlers. And that's something else. What you guys do, and for all those listening and all those watching, these gentlemen have all been part of the counties, or I should say the two kingdoms of Urnst, but more so the county than the duchy, because Countess Belasica's kind of got a little bit more balls than what's the Crawl, I think, is the Duke. They've put together different squads, and they've been sending them out to do jobs and to help fight the good fight, but it's all on the down low because of the peace after the Greyhawk Wars. So these gentlemen actually helped to take part in the liberating of Critwall. They did it under the guise of mercenaries, which technically they are, if you want to think about it. They were just being paid by the county to do it. And they've done some things, a few things in the southern lands of the Bandit Kingdoms, in and around Zeech's area, around the Near-Div, and then have fought several engagements in the in the Kingdom of Ten as well. Now, when they would do these things, there would be somebody, an unofficial member of the county, that would give them their information and send them on their missions and what have you. So that's normally who they would work with. They'd work through middlemen. This is the first time where they're actually doing something that has some sort of actual connection to the county's government itself. So. So there you go. That's a little bit of the backstory of these gentlemen here. Well, I'm sure you're all very interested to find out why you're here and what we are doing. There's been some very perplexing things that have been going on as of recently that have come to our awareness, and we would like to send you gentlemen to take a closer look into what it is. Now, if you would please, gentlemen, follow me. I have something of the utmost importance to show you. And she turns and starts walking. And she's one of those quick walkers. Like even like I would assume that Yahg has got a good gait on him. He's a tall guy, got long legs. Why not?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's probably 6'4". Like he's like a stocky 6'4".
Right.
That's any.
and he has to quicken his pace a little to stay up with Schultz, which means,
well, not to be outdone, but Gad runs up to the wall, runs halfway up the wall, turns, and then starts jogging along on the wall right behind her.
And Schultz pays no attention to this. She cups her hands behind her back, and just keeps walking. Aelar, is that how you pronounce it? Is it Aelar?
Yeah.
Aelar is.
I follow. And I'm just so you know, I'm dressed in all like just bright white, and I don't have any robes or anything. I'm wearing it's almost like a suit but without a jacket. Boots, pants, like crisp. Not a wrinkle to them. White shirt and a white vest with a white cape.
And through the workings of prestidigitation, it always stays that way.
Right. It always stays looking.
It
And in
always looks good.
contrast, Gad only wears a pair of slippers.
Yes, well, because he is a turtle, you know what I mean. So,
Yes.
Get away.
and,
That's a
and,
good point,
and,
though. So,
uh-huh.
so Yahg is he wears a very plain, kind of worn tunic that is a grayish blue with white and gold trim, which is the colors of Rao, his god. And he has the symbol, which is just a white heart. So he's just wearing this tunic with a white heart on it. And he carries what, at passing glance, you would think it is a walking stick. But you look closer at it and you realize that the handle starts out about quarterstaff, and it goes down and it widens to something a little wider than a wine bottle, and it has these black studs. They kind of look like stone, but they're these little spikes coming off of it, and then there's this green moss that kind of swirls around it. So it looks passable like a walking stick, and he's so big that it kind of seems fitting for him, but it's just this giant great club that he kind of uses as a walking stick as he walks along.
Your god actually was very key in ending the Greyhawk Wars, because the Crook of Rao, which is an artifact, was responsible for the banishing of the demons that Ayuz was using to give him the upper hand. Did you read
It's
that?
a pretty cool staff. Like the little bit I read about before this is like so it can just make anybody very calm and serene, and apparently even Nerul is not immune to it. So.
Oh, did you hear that, Michael? Oh, right. All right. Okay.
Gad doesn't care.
Just Altus is pretty nondescript. He's got leather armor, studded leather armor on, but it's underneath sort of a sky blue cloak, and he's got yellow sun on his shield, and more golden yellow sun on his shield, and a couple of smaller sun iconographies scattered around his cloak and armor. But other than that, he doesn't stick out as much as the others do.
Right. Or as much as the turtle. And for anybody who's watching this who's a stickler for Greyhawk, yes, I'm interjecting turtles into the game. So there you go.
Not just turtles, war turtles.
War turtles, that's right. Okay, so Schalt is just making a beeline. She's walking. She's pretty much stopped talking to you guys, too, as she's just leading the way. And you guys walk. You leave out of the park. You leave from the park and you go a little bit just down the street, and there is a nice big carriage drawn by 4 horses. You at first maybe would think it was like a carriage for royalty, but it is. You can tell it doesn't have a lot of the bells or whistles to it, and it does have the symbol on the side of the watch of Radaghast City. She goes over to the carriage, opens up the door, and then gestures for you gentlemen to enter into the carriage.
I'll go in.
For us, really, this is very nice. Thank you.
Yes, very much so. We are going to be going to a location in the as she's talking, you guys get in, sit down. It's a really big carriage. It does have a section in the back for that is barred, where they could put like put 2 or 3 cramped prisoners inside the cell. But then the rest of it, it's kind of like got padded benches around the outside. So it's sort of like, I don't know, like they could have SWAT or a bunch of different, whatever the hell the equivalency of it is.
It's a multi-purpose camp.
Exactly. And then there's a built-in table into the center of this place. So as you guys go in, then she climbs up, closes the door, and goes and sits down as the carriage starts moving. We are going to be going over into the industrial heart of Radaghast City. We are going to be meeting in a little bit Administrator Talvin, but more importantly, I've been informed that none other than one is a Starcoat shall be there as well, because the things that are starting to happen have drawn the attention of not only the Countess and the Duke, but it's also drawn the attention of the Circle of Eight. Now, you guys know who Warren's Starcoat is. He's one of the Circle of Eight. Now, do you guys know who the Circle of Eight are, or should I? I should go into that anyway. I should say who it is for anybody who's listening who doesn't know.
Because, I mean,
Okay.
we know,
but
we want
that
to make sure the audience also.
and
Of
this
course we
is
know. Google
yeah.
Circle of Eight. Oh my God, so much corn. Why is everything blue?
That's what you got. Siri, tell me about the Circle of Eight. So you guys all know who Mordekainen is. Okay, it's the guy that they've ripped off from Greyhawk and turned it over. And, well, I should say ripped off. It's all TS. I mean, it's not TSR anymore. It's all Wizards of the Coast.
Wizards of the Coast, if you'd like to be a sponsor. We would
Thank
love to
you.
have
Thank
You
you,
know, all
Adam.
of the wizards, they have the ability magically to travel between the worlds. So if you have a high enough, powerful enough wizard traveling between Greyhawk and,
Yeah.
everywhere else
Yeah.
is not a real hard thing to do.
Exactly.
That
Or
must
if you're a
explain
lich,
why Wyndon was in Dragonlance.
right? There you go. There you go. So the Circle of Eight are they're their own organization. They've had members come and go. I'm not going to go into the long lineage of the different members of the Circle, but for the longest time they have been led by. There you go. Mordekainen, actually, and they uphold his idea of neutrality and essentially the balance in things. And so they get involved on things that are on larger scales. Okay.
Right.
Now, Warren's Starcoat is from Crunch, is from then Crunch. You guys hit a couple of potholes along the way. The carriage kind of moved a little bit.
Yeah, I intentionally opened and got the ice out so I didn't do the dispenser noise, but apparently I just can't win.
No, that's all right, man.
I can't deal
Dude,
with
we are entertaining enough to be able to incorporate
Yeah, I
all
mean, the
this
good
stuff.
thing is that we're not live with people watching.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I said, the Circle 8, they do their thing. Now, Warren's Starcoat is part of the Circle of 8, but he is from the Duchy of Urnst. Okay, and he actually does a lot of work. He's got some sort of official title. It's like Grand Marshal of Magical Events or some kind of. Chief Magical Counselor for Duke Carl. Carl's his name. You got two L's in there though. This way it makes it fantasy. And the Count and the Countess. So he is a very well-known figure in these areas, and that's the fella that Salt is making reference to. You also do know who the administrator Talvin is. He's a bureaucrat. He's a bureaucrat, and essentially does a number of different types of jobs. He's like the high-end gopher, if that makes any sense, for the government. So, and he works directly for the Countess. Okay, so the Circle of 8, or at least Warren's Starcoat, is drawn an interest in what has been uncovered, and I wanted to give you gentlemen a chance to take a look at things a little bit before the Starcoat shows up, so that if you have any questions, because I don't think he's going to be around for very long, and maybe he could answer some questions for you if anything came up. So please have a drink or something as we make the ride. And on that table there, it's kind of got like a sunken center where they got like some bottles of water and some beer. No hard alcohol, but these characters don't need it.
No, Aelar doesn't drink.
What?
Yeah.
Man, talk about a complete 360. Or no,
Yeah.
that would be 180. My bad. So anyway.
Yeah. AC drinks all the time.
Yeah. It's like, I'm right back to where I started.
But he's so much in that rotation that he's completely different now.
There you go. So the carriage ride lasts for about a good 30 minutes, a little bit or more from where you're at. You make a good time. Radaghast City is a big city, but it's still early enough in the morning that there's not as much of the traffic that normally would be out that would clog up the streets. You do notice, if watching as you go by outside the windows, the city does, and from your stay that you guys have been here, because this is probably the biggest respite that you guys have had from doing your little things for the county. And you've noticed that even here in Radaghast City, there is a lot of, there's no other way to call them, they're refugees. But down towards the docks and some of the other poorer districts, you do see people there. But you see a lot of people that are of people of means that came from different lands and were displaced that have come to the relative safety in the county of Urnst itself. And as you guys make it down into to the dock districts, eventually the carriage pulls up into a very nondescript looking like warehouse. The front of it has like an attached, almost like house looking, and then it's like built into, connected to a much larger building that's behind it that is in like a warehouse. So as it pulls up, then Inspector Schult opens the door, steps down, waits for you gentlemen to get out, and then goes over to this house, then goes around to the back of it, and there's a little sunken stairwell that goes to one door. Now, everything above ground here is just typical business. But what we found down in here, and the people that we found connected to it, very different indeed. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change. That's right.
We killed the inspector.
We survived the inspector, if we're lucky.
Okay. So let me. I need to get rid of this. Oh, am I on the right?
That looks familiar.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Why can't I? Oh, I know why. I'm such a moron sometimes.
Oh, if only we knew what you were talking about.
I put a couple.
We're in
these...
complete agreement, though.
Shut up. Nobody needs to hear that. Okay. So go ahead and you guys can first. Let me go ahead and change the view here so that everybody at home can see. Now, for all of you who are on the, oh great, so that's not showing.
Did you want us to drag our tokens in?
Oh, that's why. I see. I went out to the, yeah, go ahead and drag your tokens in. I went to the wrong, where is it? There it is. That's the one I need right there. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay. Well, there's a big old black thing right in the middle. What's that? I have to get rid of that. It's probably one of the notification boxes or something.
Am I bringing out like 1 million of my guys? Why can't
There
I?
it is. Oh, I know what that is.
There you are.
Let me just move this.
He's a creepy looking motherfucker.
Move that to the side. There we go. Okay. And yeah, we're gonna have to shrink those guys down a bit. So
We're probably on the wrong side.
yeah, this is the where you guys come in.
There appears to be a very tiny pentagram in the center of this tiny room.
I have no idea how to shrink my token. Sorry.
You
That's
can't.
what Will has to do it.
Oh,
doesn't
okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Gotcha.
Okay, so there you guys are.
Do you even have
So
tokens?
these stairs go down. I don't see it.
Yeah.
You're dressed for winter, by the way. There, Altus.
Yeah.
The stairs go down to these doors, and Let me go ahead and I will find a. This will be Inspector Schult for right now. She's the right size. Okay, so she goes down, takes out an iron key, and this door, it's a double door. It's got handles that are out, and it's got a chain around it, and a padlock onto the chain. She takes out this iron key, taps the lock with it 3 times, and when she does that, it's almost like the glitter of sort of like fairy dust or whatnot, kind of like poofs up off of it, and then she unlocks, puts the key into the lock, unlocks it, draws the chain from off around the handles, and opens the door so that you guys can come inside. And you're immediately greeted by this subterranean room. There is a pentacle sort of thing on the floor. There is a little, what do you call those stands where you put the book on it? Not a pulpit. No, not a dais. It's like a podium. That's what.
Lectern.
Oh, there you go. Okay. And then there are just all these, they're not really candles. They're like little clay pots with a clay lid to it, and like a wick pops up the top, and that wick is burning. So after you guys come inside, she goes ahead and she closes the door behind you.
Do any of these candles or the not quite pentagram, septagram? I don't know. Does any of that mean anything to me?
Are they what now?
Does any of this mean anything to me? I don't. Yeah, I would leaning towards religion wise, make a
religion wise, no. But if Aelar, I'm going to have a hard time with that until I get it down. If Aelar wants
to, arcana wise?
That's go ahead.
It looks like something the Slow River tribe may have created once upon a time.
26.
Yes. Matter of fact,
created this.
You did.
I stole this from one of my old sketch pads.
Make sure that so everything is good to go. I was just checking the visual, make sure that we're all good there. Yeah, you know what the hell this is. This circle here has to do with, and you've read about this only in passing out of interest. You didn't read anything else. You weren't trying to learn the process of doing it or the spells. But this is for the binding and the extraction of souls. You can tell by the markings that are drawn into the circle itself. Now, of course, the circle does not look exactly like we have here on the map, but you definitely can see that this was what the purpose of this circle was. And Schult comes in, walks over next to the lectern and turns around and allows you guys just to soak it all in for a minute.
I want to get just a little bit of a closer inspection without actually touching anything. See if I could see what it was made from.
Mm-hmm. Now, Schult herself, she walked right across it.
What is the wall and ceiling made of? Like that door goes all the way up to the ceiling. What is it?
The walls themselves are made of stone. This is all. It's a stone floor. Most of it is from slates where they would cut out like a big heavy slab of stone, and it's all pieced together. The walls are all brick and stone. So like the outer walls are all made from stone, and then the interior walls are all brick.
All right. Well, I do say this looks like something that the Slow River people would have made, and I walk straight up the wall and completely circumnavigate it as I work to follow her.
When did you discover this place?
Well, that leads me into giving you gentlemen a little bit of more information now that we're here and away from any prying eyes. This room itself has been screened and warded with magics now to help ensure that nothing else or anyone else is able to pry. This room was found after we arrested an individual by the name of Tobald Gurner. It seems that we had gained a little bit of. He'd gotten, I guess, sloppy. I'm not sure, but this fool was actually having his henchmen and dressing them up in the uniforms of the watch to go out and collect people in what do they call it when I guess Shanghai, right? When they get their guys to put he was collecting people into press gangs, Shanghaiing them and then from everything else that we can tell and from the few people that we were able to question that we were able to recover, they're stealing their souls and then sending them out to do errands for them.
How terrible. That's horrendous.
Exactly.
What kind of
Absolutely
errands exactly are they sending these poor folk to?
That we don't know. Unfortunately,
is this
The-
Tobald Gurner still alive?
Yes, and you will get an opportunity to meet him. He is in another cell in another part of the city. But I wanted to show you this first because we've only been able to acquire one man of importance of any knowledge, and that's Gurner himself. The others that we were able to, I would say, free more than liberate was a handful of souls, a handful of individuals that had lost their souls, and they know nothing of what's going on. The other people that he's used and pressed into into his service and dressed up into these uniforms, masquerading as working for the county, they are nothing more than common thugs. They had no idea of what's going on. We don't know who was using this facility here, this basement, or what they were doing. Why we don't even know what these things are. And she's like referencing out to all these little like clay jars with the wicks coming up out of them.
Have
Can I
tried
roll
to
something to see if I can tell what they are? Well, all right.
Okay.
Well, as he's trying to extinguish them, can I try to figure out what they are?
Sure, you can go over and start
he
looking at one.
he asked if she's tried to extinguish
Oh,
them. It's
okay.
weird that like we don't know what they are, so we just left them burning for days.
Yeah.
So it's
Well, until they are all highly magical.
What
Very
would I
much
roll
so.
for that?
Again, it would be an
Investigation?
arcana. It'd be
Or
an
arcana
arcana check.
again?
Yeah, and you're going to actually have advantage on this because you got an idea of what this is.
Yeah.
Okay, give me the second one.
It's rolling.
Oh, you got a
17.
17. 17's good enough because the simple fact that you busted so high in figuring and discerning what was going on with that, with the glyph that was on the floor, and there is a book on there. It's just not a lecture.
Is this their? Yeah, is this their souls?
That is the general theory at the moment. We have been afraid to open them yet. That's why. That's why Master Warren is coming to take a look at things. We figured if anyone could help us discern what these things were, someone from the Circle of the Eight would probably be able to tell.
Indeed.
I
would
know a
leave
bit
them as they are.
about magic.
Please, and she like gestures towards the to the lectern and the big book.
Do
up
I
there.
know if this circle on the ground, if it's deactivated with my 26 roll I got earlier?
Yeah, and you pretty much figured that out when you watched Schultz walk right across it.
Right.
Because
Even
she just walked across and went to stand next to the book.
Yeah. So I'm going to walk over and look at the book too. I don't know if that's what Gad over here also would like to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please, I mean, either of you, if you could maybe glean some information from this.
Yeah. Do we want to? Can we roll with advantage if we're working together and talking
yes.
what we're seeing?
Yes.
I got a +7. What do you got, Michael, on Arcana?
That's +2.
All right. Well, let's.
Thanks to Jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Oh,
one.
not good.
That's
Even
one.
together, we got an 11.
No,
it's
you have
10 or
advanced.
11.
That's
I
both
rolled
your rolls.
twice.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
you don't know. It's like I said,
Well, I get one. If I have advantage, I guess. Yeah.
yeah.
We're debating. We
Yeah.
have an idea, a theory. We're probably wrong.
Essentially, like I said, what you had read about them is more or less curiosity on like, oh,
Right.
how vulgar somebody would do something like this. You didn't actually read or try to find out how to do such a thing, because you know it's ghastly. Why would you? You know. So
I'm kind of looking at each of these little clay jars to see if they all are identical looking, or if there's any sort of discerning marks between them at all.
there is, and as you look at them closer, it's almost as if, you know how like if clay, when you're molding it and you're getting ready, like as you're making a clay pot or whatnot, you could put an indentation to it, then it would dry and you would have like a little mark on there, whatever it would be. Each one of these has a mark on it of some sort, and it's sort of like Sumerian writing. It's like lines.
Cuneiform.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's some sort of form like that, and each one of them, it's written on the lid itself.
Interesting. Cool. Okay, I'll point that out to inspector, or ask the inspector if they've noticed any pattern with the writing on the top of the jars.
We've had a couple of individuals, and what do you call a guy who's
Cryptographer.
There you go. We've had a cryptographer in here to study it. As of yet, it's in a language. The only thing he could tell us is that it's extremely ancient, and he thinks it might be a early form of the. Oh God, I'm drawing a blank all of a sudden. Lee, are you still on? I know Lee knows. It's not the Sewell, the Flan. Gosh, God. When you get old, man, that's the first thing that goes your mind. It's an early Flemish language, but it doesn't resemble anything of the Flemish language as we know it. In the Flan themselves, they did not have really a written language until the other races came to the Flannes. So it's very troubling, very odd.
Those poor people.
Yes.
What sort of innocent farm workers and burgomasters have been taken in this ploy?
I do not know.
Probably some really nice, super cool people.
Yeah, that's exactly what
I should write some songs about them.
I write the songs and make the whole world sing. Okay, so
a lot of souls.
did any of you guys have any questions or anything for the investigator?
I would ask her what tipped you off, Inspector. How did you learn about this?
We learned about it from the hooligans that were being hired.
Oh, you interrogated them. I see.
Well, some of them were, well, you get what you pay for, and they were braggadocious. And word had leaked out that they were taking some of the poor refugees that were coming into our city, and they were getting paid per head for delivering them to this Tobald Gurner.
Ghastly.
So we investigated, and we found out.
Where are the refugees coming from?
Well, the refugees that are in the county of Urnst are basically from all kinds of different places in the Flannes. So you've got people from the Bandit Kingdom, people from Ten, there's a ton that came in from the Shield Lands. They left there and went either to Furangi, came down to the county, or to the Duchy of Urnst. Just a lot of different people that were displaced, in the different countries that were just, destroyed, and it's particularly around here from those areas. So,
has anyone tried to move the book?
No, we've left it here for now. Just trying to make sure that it stays we didn't really want to disrupt too much. It's been read, and people have flipped through it, but that is it for now. Nothing more. We figured it is probably best to keep it here until then. Until
Where
at
does the
least
far
word
door
is.
lead?
That actually leads into a stairwell that goes up into to the warehouse area. And as she says that,
who owns the warehouse? Do we know who owns the warehouse?
yes, this warehouse is owned by Tobald Gurner.
Still? You didn't like confiscate it or anything?
Well, correct. It is now the property of the county.
In that case, it is now our new headquarters.
Then, as she says that, everybody roll perception for me. Oh, Altus notices. So does Gad. Okay. And for the hell of it, I'll say all of you notice. It's just Yahg just notices last is all. Right here, that little pot right there, the candle on it, wavers and goes out. And then a little right there. And
I
a
have
little.
no idea, but
You didn't see the. I'll do the picture.
oh,
That's,
okay.
Yeah.
And a little, as it goes out, a swirling trail of purple smoke comes up from it and twirls around and then starts to evaporate. Oh my, that is extremely interesting. We haven't seen any of these go out yet.
That
I-
poor person.
I wonder what that means.
I bet it means they've passed on.
I'll bet it
Oh.
was Valiant.
At
Yeah.
this
He'll,
point, Yahg turns back, and he's like, ever since she said the thing about the souls, he turned and he's been surveying them, and he looks very solemn.
And
There's
another one goes out.
Oh no!
Not over here. And then another one goes out over here. And as it goes out, that purple smoke goes up. And as you see, that purple smoke starts forming into something.
Yeah.
Oh shit, Charles, now would be a time to roll for initiative.
Oh snap!
Oh, just let me go ahead and change some stuff here real quick. Go back to the right layer. Okay.
That's a rolling a. Hold on. That
I
should be a
rolled an
20.
18.
Yeah, that should
Oh,
be a
yeah.
22 for me.
Oh yeah.
It probably would help if I would bring up the initiative order. Let me clear that, and then you guys can just write it in. Because the people that we have up there right now aren't here. They're in some place called Kidney. Oh, that was almost a nat 20.
I know, and it slowly rolled away.
Well, I'll take the 19.
Okay, let me go ahead and open my book to where I need to be. Man, I write the songs stuck in my head. Don't ask me. I write the songs that make the whole world sing.
I was too busy inspecting this pot to be ready for action here, apparently.
All right, let's go ahead and let's roll for. Ooh, they get a good. Let's see what we got here. Okay, they got. Now they do look white, but they're not white. They're actually purplish in their color. Sort of a mauve. Okay.
So they're not trying to steal my look, is what you're saying.
No. No, not yet. And as they start to take form, you notice that they have on the screen here, they look like ooh, spooky ghosts. They don't have that appearance. They have the appearance of people, okay? And one of them in particular looks sort of like an assassin that worships Neural. I'm just saying. Take that for what you might think it is. And I gotta put the let's put the good inspector in there too. She needs to be able to do something. Oh, nice.
So I have a question for the DM.
Yes, and I have an answer for you.
I would believe that these are the souls. So I've watched the purple smoke come out and it takes an entity, and I believe the candles hold the souls. So now I believe that this is just a poor, twisted soul of some poor being. I'm familiar with religion. Would I have any sort of inclination as to whether harming these souls would be setting them free and giving them peace, or a negative,
much you would know, and that is, according to what Inspector Schultz has told you, that these people had their souls taken from them.
Right.
They actually have a half dozen of these soulless people in custody currently. So if their souls were taken out and they were still alive, but then if these are their souls are in these clay little pots, you're not sure if you destroyed it, if it would go back to them or if it would just release them. Something just happened to 3 of them, and from what you're seeing,
I'm not talking about the pots. I'm talking about the spooky things. So not like the purple things come up.
Okay. You don't know.
Okay.
You don't know. Let's put it this way: they're rising up real spooky like and looking hungrily at you alive people, as opposed to whisking off to a waiting vessel that it was stolen from. So you know what I mean? It's kind of hard to tell. So the inspector goes first, and she goes, this is very unfortunate. She backs up, and as she backs up, she pulls a wand out, and she seems to be waiting and biding her time to see what's going to happen. She doesn't automatically attack, but she's waiting. Altus, it is your turn.
She moved away from me. All right, cool. When she moved away, did the ghostly figure try to do anything to her?
No, because it's kind of still forming.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna run up behind and go, pardon the intrusion, Inspector, and then I'm going to just lightly touch her something, whatever, arm, shoulder, whatever's the most appropriate place, and I'm gonna cast protection from evil and good on her.
Excellent.
And so she's got that up on her while I'm concentrating on it. And then I'll go, hopefully it won't, better safe than sorry. And then that's all I will do.
Okay. Next would be the axe. Gad. Oh, you're on mute there, Michael.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
I was just thinking here anyway. But yeah, I see this thing and begin to kind of whistle a little tune as I walk over to it and say, I don't think you should really be here, whatever you thing are. I think I'm going to send you back to wherever it is that something like you might come from.
Okay.
And swing my great axe at it.
Ooh, that hits. And it's 3 points. What's the 10? The 10 is your crit, or
10 is what I actually.
Oh, it's a D.
Because the first one didn't actually roll.
Oh, I see.
Attack is messed up. The second one is actually the actual damage there. So 10.
Yeah. I think the 10 is.
10 is the actual damage. 3 is I should go fix that.
Right. So, but that's we discerned what it is. It howls, and it's like it's piercing when you swing through it. Oh,
Oh,
it's
the
like
3. Okay, yeah, okay. The 3 is actually relevant. I just didn't use that feature. So
okay. And as the axe goes through it, and it pulls it pulls tendrils of the smoke in of its body, because it's coalesced into essentially more like a smoky apparition is what it is.
Kaz.
Yeah, and you can kind of see through it, and you have the feeling that your attack wasn't nearly as efficient as it could be against something that was, well, probably alive. So,
okay.
all right.
Well, as soon as I get done with that, swinging that thing, since I noticed it didn't go after anybody else, I would then turn and, so that was 5, so 10, 15, and then 20, 25, about 15 feet up the wall then.
Gotcha. I gotta say, Michael has more fun with his magic items.
I know.
Okay. It's the spooky thing's turns. And this one looks pissed, and it comes floating right up towards you, Michael. Or I should say,
Do
Gad.
I get an attack of opportunity?
Yes, you do.
Not that I'm very good at.
Are you a?
I've got a quarterstaff.
Are you a battle mage? Did you take that
No,
perchance?
I'm not a battle.
Okay.
So I would just get a one-handed attack with a quarterstaff because I'm holding it. Is that right?
Yes.
Yep.
Well, it could be two-handed too. I mean.
No, I'll just do one.
No.
There you go.
Yeah.
For 1 point of damage.
You
Just
freak out
curious.
and swing at it, and it doesn't look like it does anything.
Not to be too metagaming, but do you have shield as a spell, Adam?
I do.
That uses your reaction, just so you know.
Yeah, I know, but he moved away. That's why I use this now.
Okay. Oh no, I mean, like, you can't use shield now if something attacks
Right,
you.
yeah, no, I got you. Yep.
Gotcha.
You're gonna
Cool.
die.
Okay, so first things first, we have.
They obviously knew to stay away from me anyway. So they saw me whack that guy with a quarterstaff for a whopping 1 point, which is probably a
That looks
half.
like it's done
Yeah.
a little.
Yeah, and you know what it is they were like, that guy's nothing. Now let's go take care of somebody who might be some sort of a danger to us. Okay.
Am I bleeding? No, but still, ow.
All right, Michael, here comes. It nat 1'd its attack on you, Michael.
Yeah.
Okay, the 1 comes over and gives an attack towards the inspector. And
It's
what
got
is disadvantage to do it, right?
I'm assuming it's an undead.
Yes, these are
It's-
undead.
It has disadvantage on attacking her, then, yeah.
Okay, so here's the 2 rolls for that one. Did I do both of them?
You did.
I
Yeah,
sure
that's
did,
one.
yeah. And a 17, so 17 will hit her.
Okay.
So let's see, it is going to do. Over here. Let's see, that's a lot of damage. 21.
Damn.
It does 24 points of necrotic damage to her. As it goes and it swings down at her with this ghostly clawed hand, it rakes across her, and like the tendrils like sink into her body and like they come out the other side. And as it comes out the other side, you see the purple smoke coming off of it and what have you. But as it comes through and drags out, you see like light almost coming out from within her body, as it's pulling out part of her soul as it breaks her.
Ooh.
And she screams at that hit. And she doesn't go down, but she like kind of like buckles a little.
Mhm.
Okay, and then
So, As the one's approaching Yahg, he's trying to communicate with it, and he's like, I understand the terrible pain you must be in. Please, I can help you. I'm so sorry for what has happened to you. Now bring it on.
and you're worth actually though, as you say that to it, because the person, the ghost sort of thing, apparition that's coming towards you, it's this woman. And as you're saying that to her, as she's coming towards you, you can see the anger that was in her face kind of like turns to like an anguish, as if like she's deeply sorry for what she's about to do. 17 hit you?
Oh yeah,
Okay. And I'll apologize right now for this.
let's do it.
That's not that bad though. 18, 20, 21 points. So it's a little bit more than I thought. So 21 points in necrotic. Are you
All right.
resistant or anything
You're
to that?
You are, as a
Nope.
a zealot, you are. Oh no, never mind. That's because I was an Asimar. Never mind.
Asimar, not, yeah. So,
Fuck you, you ass.
Asimar.
okay, so
Asimai.
that's all. That's all three of them. It is now Yagh's turn.
So basically, Yahg doesn't even try to stop it, and it hits him, and he kind of looks down and he goes, "I see," and he picks up his club, and you see just like this very stern expression over his face, and he hauls back and just comes down over the top of it with a reckless attack. So all attacks against me will have advantage, and all my attacks also have advantage.
Correct.
And I'm going to take a big swing because I got the Great Weapon Master. So -5 to attack, +10 to damage. And I just took a regular, boring +1 magic weapon.
Actually, that's great because
It's a good idea.
It's
I
gonna-
really thought about it. But
it's
I
going to
don't
do
know if
full
it's-
damage to this thing.
That's
So, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, we're going to take a regular attack. We'll save the big swing for
Okay.
the next one. I want to make sure I get one in.
Are you
So
raging?
let's see. Oh, yeah. And I'm raging. Sorry. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Okay.
So 21 to hit.
Well, are you going to do the reckless so you can get the advantage?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Reckless, rage, and yeah.
Okay.
And
Now the second one is
The common barbarian combo.
So the second damage is I have this fighter great weapon fighting style where I can re-roll 1s and 2s for my damage roll. So rather than actually having to take the time to re-roll it, I have for example, I rolled a 6, a 6, and a 1. So one of those gets re-rolled. The first number here is a 2, so that one becomes a 2. It's just for speed. So it's actually
Oh.
You
20
also,
points
because
of
you're
damage.
raging. But when you're raging, don't you also get
Oh.
a +8, a 1d8, what do you call it?
The
Radiant
Zealots-
damage.
It's 1d6.
1d6
But
on the first
I think
attack.
it's 1d6. If
I think
a
it's
D8,
1d8.
I'm myself
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
The-
I'm pretty sure it's a d8.
I
Alright, so
I see how
For
it's
this attack, it'll be a d6 because I fucked up. But so it's 20 points of damage either way.
Gotcha.
2 of which is radiant.
okay. So 20 points of damage.
Oh no,
That-
that's not true. 4 of which is radiant.
Gotcha. And let me just double check something with that. Okay, no, it doesn't seem to. It just the damage in general hurts it. It screams, and it's like again, it's like that ear splitting. Okay.
How bad does it look?
It,
Or does
it-
it, like I took
it
off
looks-
some of the purple.
Yes, when you went through, it kind of essentially because it's made mostly of like smoke and what have you. As your club goes through, and it kind of like it sizzles and kind of like dissipates and almost like turns to nothingness. Some of the smoke, and after it is passed through, then it kind of like reforms and it's a little smaller
All right.
than
So
it was before.
he will take a second swing at it. This time, I'm going to take a big swing. So that is the -5 for +10. Still with advantage.
19.
19.
Okay. It is.
And hold on. Oh, the double damage isn't there. So I have to re-roll one of those. I must have screwed up that one. So it's actually 23 points of damage.
Okay, so it's got 4 more. Okay, so again, same thing. It goes passing through, and it shrinks even smaller now. It's like less than half the size it was when you originally started swinging on it.
Okay.
Okay. Aelar.
Aelar.
Aelar, you know.
I just say, how fascinating. And then cast Magic Missile. At this guy over here. And that didn't work right. Is it just 3?
You get 3
Yeah,
D4s.
this just roll. I
plus
guess I need to do it. Yeah, I need to do it 3 times. How many do I get?
You get 2 more if
Yeah.
you're casting it at first level.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, and then it's what you get 1 more d4 per level over first, correct?
Right.
So,
All right, so 10 altogether against the guy attacking.
Did that include your +1 per missile?
I think so.
it does.
Yeah.
It's got it written
I think
in the
it's
formula.
in there. Yeah, it's in there. Yep.
All right.
So which one you going after? The one.
It was the one with attacking the inspector,
Okay, so that one takes 10.
and I'm actually going to take a step back. I don't want to go into that circle if these things are coming alive, but I'm just going to take a step right over there just to be sort of in the center between the 2 guys in front of me.
Okay. All right, it's the inspector's turn, and the inspector fires off her wand at the one that's right in front of her.
Oh, and I pulled out a wand, by the way, but
Okay,
it doesn't matter. But I just pulled it
and she shoots magic missiles at it too.
out.
Okay, and then you add 1
Some
plus
good
1
damage.
One
So-
per dart. Yep.
Yeah,
That
so
is
1,
good,
2,
yeah.
so another 4. So wow, yeah, she did 18 points to it. That's really good,
I mean, max would have been 20.
right?
It's,
Yeah.
And so, like, these missiles go shooting off and explode again, and as it explodes, like puffs of the smoke go off around and then dissipate. And again, too, it's just like the one that Yahg was fighting. As those explosions go and send the smoke out, it recoalesces into a smaller form. Okay, the inspector. That's all she does. She's not really. She's smart enough to know not to try and run because then it'll just pounce on her. Dun Altus.
Okay, Altus sort of again reaches out and goes, "Pardon me, Inspector," and they will cast a Cure Wounds on her, so that she gets 11 healing back, 11 health back.
Nice.
And then as a bonus action, he will cast Spiritual Weapon.
Okay. And
Go.
what is your spiritual weapon look like?
It's a mace.
A mace?
That's the traditional Aelar weapon. So it's a golden mace that sort of hovers in the air and swings at this guy right here. So,
Gotcha.
now, what does the top of your mace look like? Like a sun? Like
yeah,
a
there'd be like a
smiley
sun iconography on it. Yeah, exactly, like a sun icon.
sun with a smiley face, maybe some
Ooh.
sunglasses.
Just sort of it's just a sun, no face on it.
There it is. Let me
If
go
the
ahead.
sun wears sunglasses, is it just
Yeah.
glasses?
And
Let's see,
yeah,
control
that's-
by.
let's
There it is.
see. And
Okay, you have control of it now too.
okay, cool.
All right.
So yeah, that's Altus there.
Okay, did it hit? What did you roll? 25. Yeah,
I
that
rolled a 25.
that definitely hits it.
Fucking hope so.
Yep. Okay, so all right. And again, it passes through it, taking part of the smoke with it, and it does again shrink. All right. Dun dun dun. Gad the X. Or no, I'm sorry, Gad with X.
Gad with axe.
Gad with X.
All right. So when he looked at that one guy, did it look like it, or when he was talking to that one thing, did it look like it was doing anything, or acknowledged him?
Even if you did notice it, whatever he said to it didn't impede it at all from attacking him.
Sure.
So that you do know for a fact. So
Okay. I'll just swing again at it. I'm kind of dancing along the wall and swing my axe over at it, and
that'll hit.
actually at this time I kind of give a little extra flourish to my swing there, and
Is that the extra 3?
no, I don't know what that extra 3 is yet.
Okay.
And
We'll
I need
ignore
to
it.
roll a double. Yeah, my bardic inspiration is still a d6, so I roll a d6. He takes an extra 6 damage, and my armor class goes up by 6.
Okay. And the damage that it does is just extra damage of the same type, correct? Isn't that how
It's
that
the
works?
same type.
Okay, that's
It
what I thought.
is caused through my bardic inspiration, though, which I don't think adds magic or anything. It's
No.
just the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just
Okay, so
It's just extra damage to the target you hit. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And the damage equals the number you roll in the bardic inspiration die. And you also add the number rolled to your armor class until the start of your next turn or the next. And this is for the defensive flourish. I have more than one flourish.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one. Okay, so is there anything else you're going to do?
I kind of glance out. Does anybody look overly
Don't you have 2 attacks now too?
No, I do not because I multi-classed.
Okay, gotcha. I'm sorry. So you said what now?
I just kind of glance out. Does anybody look hurt?
Actually, the inspector looks pretty bad after that first rake that it got from the whatever these things are. But your boy Altus seems to have helped her out in that regards. So she doesn't, she still looks a little under the weather, but yeah.
Okay, then I just kind of keep dancing along the wall there.
Okay, so it's back to the spooky things turn. Dun, 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 dun. So that one you just hit with your axe is going to try and get you there again. I don't think 11's going to hit you, is it?
Not even close.
Excellent. Okay, so now we have it's that one still going after the inspector. Oh, it misses.
Still got disadvantage.
It doesn't matter. That first one
Okay,
missed.
because it missed. All right, cool.
Yeah. So and then last but not least, oh, ouch. Sorry. This is gonna hurt.
Oh boy.
I'm sorry.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, they only get one attack, but if it hits, and especially if it crits, it's gonna hurt you. Okay, so here, let me do it this way because I can do more of them. So I'm gonna double the dice. Ouch! Fuck.
Jeez, that's a lot of
It
dice.
could have been a lot worse.
That could have been worse.
There's 2 1s and a 2 and a 3 in there, so ow. Oh, so
That was me, right?
yeah, and
Yeah,
it gets
that's on you.
and it gets +3 to that, so it's grand total of 33. But you're raging now. But this is
Well, it's necrotic though. I don't think I resist.
yeah,
necrotic, right?
it is necrotic, so
Okay.
no, unfortunately.
So yeah, I'm hurt. Like that,
Yep.
it takes me down to a knee, and I just picture like this big gash, but instead of like my insides, it's just like black, or just like this rotting like just across my chest, and my tunic is torn right across the heart.
And as like from that wound, there's like a white silvery kind of like smoke that escapes a little bit and whiffs off of you. And then, it's not like you're just smoking eternally. It just like does it for a little bit and then stops.
Yep.
Okay.
Ouch.
Yeah. Damn. That's hard times. You cry out from that. So you guys over here, you're like your boy's getting fucked up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. It's your turn. Go ahead. You
So
take
he
him
like
out.
laboriously like has his club on the ground and uses it to stand up.
Uh-huh.
And, like with everything he has, takes the club back, and he looks at it, and he sees the woman inside, and he says, "It's okay. It'll be over soon." And he takes another a swing at her. So I don't know if you can. This might not work because I tried it. Well, let's find out. And again,
Ouch.
it's reckless.
Okay, good. That'll hit.
Okay. All right, and it's actually for, let's see, Oh no, it's the same. Oh yeah, so 16 points of damage.
Oops. It looks very. It is shrunk even more, and it looks very like transparent almost now, but it's still there.
All right, so you're gonna take one more swing at it, and it's basically just like swings and then swings back. It's just
Right.
through it.
Okay, that's enough. That's no matter what you do, it completely dissipates.
Okay.
And is gone.
All right, so then he's going to use his move to come over this way. He takes he turns and kind of looks at the symbol on the ground and is not really sure what's going to happen, but he steps through it and comes to aid the inspector. And then because he killed somebody with my Great Weapon Master feat, as a bonus action, I can make another attack.
There you go.
And this time I'm going to take a big swing.
There we go. Don't pay attention to that. They're 5-foot squares.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was thinking.
Oh, shit, and it's a crit.
Okay. Tally it up for me.
So that is...
Yeah.
That should be enough.
Yeah, it's let's see. Hold on. 2, 4, 3.
Which is only fair seeing as how it had just critted you. Well, the other one. It's
right?
partner. Yeah.
5. Replace that with a 1, so 8 instead of 3, so 5. So it's 38 points of damage.
Okay, I think that, yes, that does it. This one, too, then dissipates.
And then as soon as it happens, he just collapses back to one knee with his hand on his club. Goes, "You're free."
Aelar. I say, Aelar, I do believe it's your turn, sir. No, you might be on mute. We can't hear you, Adam. But his picture's frozen up, too, on Skype, so I wonder if he just went out.
He went out.
Yeah,
He's got a pizza.
that's all right. Wow, what does that sound like?
It's a robot.
All right. Just we're gonna come back to you, Adam, whenever you get because we can't hear you or anything right now. So we're gonna just go up to the inspector.
Now might actually be a good time for a break.
You know what? Why don't we do that? Why don't we do a break, and then when we come back, we'll start with you, Adam. Give your internet a chance to catch up to everything. So hey, everybody, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a quick break. So go refresh your beverages and get your snackages on, and get ready for the second half of these. I don't even know what to say. These guys are nice. They're helping each other out. It's like I don't even know what to do. So, but yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll take care. We'll do that, and then we'll be back here in just a little bit. See you in a minute.
Heating up some queso. muting myself, eating chips for no reason.
Yep.
You know what the sad part is that here it is like we were all making fun of Adam losing audio and I didn't turn on.
Yeah, that was the least of our problems, apparently.
Okay, sorry everybody. So basically what had happened there is that we had the last
Why don't we just redo it?
just redo it. The last
I
the last enemy
Don't
was
worry,
destroyed.
Gad finished them all off. He was very heroic, killed
Yes.
all 20 of them. It was an amazing,
we were fine.
wonderful
Yeah.
fight.
Right.
And then
This-
this other guy came in, and Gad went over, told him how wonderful he was. Gad is, and then the guy said, "You can go on now. I've got this."
Yes, exactly.
The guy with star coat.
Yes, Wizard Starcoat.
And
Exactly.
Gad doesn't care. Although, it is a nice coat for people who like coats, maybe, but
It's a
not
great
really
coat.
his thing.
So basically, what happened was the last
Pretty
one,
good.
the last of the undead was killed off by Yahg, and then after
30 of them.
and after it was destroyed, then the door burst open, and Warna's Starcoat came in with Administrator Talvin, and is ensuring them that he'll be okay, but he is telling everyone that they need to rush out in case it happens again, and he needs to stay for a little bit so that he can at least take a look at everything that is in here. So and Inspector Schult is yes, I think it's a very good thing to do. Let us go ahead and leave the premises now. Are you sure that you'll be okay, Mr. Starcoat? Yes, I'll be completely fine. Please. I would hate for you all to be attacked again in this situation. I'll only be a moment as I take another look at everything that's in here and try and discern what's happening. I'm fully capable of handling it myself, I'm sure. But please, go ahead and leave before anything
right.
else happens.
Can I do an insight check on this dude?
Sure, go ahead.
Gad does go up the ceiling, or up the wall across the ceiling and down the other side, because he refuses to step on that thing on the floor.
Right.
Well.
Yeah, you're kind of in awe. Actually, it's like, wow, this guy's part of the Circle of Eight.
This one still was. Yeah.
He's a powerful wizard. I want to be as
So I
powerful
just-
as this guy someday. Yeah.
I bow to him. And I say, Master Starcoat, your reputation precedes you. If there is anything that I can do in my own humble way, please let me know, and I shall be at your beck and call.
Of course. And I appreciate you coming in and helping with this situation. I trust me, I'll speak with all of you because I understand correctly that you're going to be undertaking some tasks for us, so to speak. But I'll have a chance to speak with you all in a little bit. But first, please, before any more of these mishaps occur, go ahead and go, and I'll follow directly. And then Schultz all
Yahg addresses him on his way out, and he says, 611. There's 611 souls in here that are depending on you. It is a great responsibility. I hope you understand that this is serious. This is very grave.
I appreciate your concern for these people. I do, and yes, I do take this very serious. But not to be braggadocious, but I am a man capable of taking care of it. Talvin, I need you to leave with these people as well. I would hate to have to try and protect you if something were to go amiss. And Talvin's like, you betcha, man. I'm out.
They are pretty easy to fight if they do attack you. You got basically just give them a good shove, and about 5 or 6 of them will fall at once. That's how I took out that 100 not too long ago.
Yes, 100, you say? Yes, of course. No, please. And then he follows you guys over towards those double doors, and then he closes the double doors behind you. And Inspector Schultz just she hurries up and gets the hell out of Dodge. So, all right, let me go ahead and I'm going to.
Can you believe we barely escaped that mummy lord with our lives? We'll have to go back and face him someday.
You do realize that we were here with you, my dear boy.
Yeah.
Story's much better when I tell it.
Save the stories for those who weren't here to witness it.
Exactly. Okay, so
Word of advice.
all right, you guys all go again, and you're out. Let me go ahead and change the map here just to the standard map. All right, there we go. Okay. Okay, so Schultz takes you guys all outside. The carriage, the big carriage, is still out there. There's a couple of there's the driver and then like his companion driver. I don't know what the hell you would call the guy that sits next to him. I mean,
driver.
yeah, I guess,
Solo
yeah,
pilot.
yeah. The guy, his beverage holder. I mean, it's like the one guy holds his beer. So, yeah.
Don't drink and drive, kids. Don't drink and drive.
So they look very worried, and they were kind of like, they were standing like outside the doors. So like when Inspector Schultz comes out, they're all like, "Are you okay? Is everything all right, Inspector?" And he's like, "Yes, everything is fine. Don't worry about it. Get on the coach. We're going to go away right now." And she goes over, opens up the door, and this time she doesn't wait for you guys. She opens up the door and gets in. It's like she seems very flustered. And so, but by the time you guys get in and get yourselves seated, she seems to have composed herself again. So, Administrator Talbot, on the other hand, seems like, so it was undead down there, was it? What was it? That's what I heard the Warren was saying. Is that what you? 100? Did you say there was 100 of them in there?
There weren't 100. There were 4 of them.
Oh,
3 of them. There were 3 of them.
Oh, that's so much better than it. But still, even 3. I mean, that's terrible. I mean, it's what happened in
See what I mean? You don't know how to tell a story. There was at least 100, and we chased most of them off.
Excellent.
We don't know exactly what they were.
Sure.
My friends here who know more of magic than I do think it might be the actual souls of those who were stolen, but they had been twisted and suffering in some way.
Oh, that's completely terrible. Oh, I don't know what the. Oh, anyway. So at that point in time, the carriage then, after everybody's in, it starts right up and starts rolling away, and it's going back towards the center of town. And after it makes it towards the center of town, you see that it is making its way towards a keep, and it is essentially the keep of the Watch. It's not there's a castle where the Countess lives and all that different stuff up on a hill and all that other joyous shit. But the keep of the Watch is like more like a military sort of compound, and the carriage goes directly to it, goes through the front door. It's later in the morning now, and things are picking up a little bit more. The compound of the Watch Keep, there's like squads drilling there and what have you. The county itself, as far as the watch for Radaghast City itself, and the armed forces of the county itself, hasn't really shrunk. It grew considerably during the Greyhawk Wars, even though they didn't get involved in any of the wars, and they've been maintaining that level for some time in anticipation for things to heat back up again. So the carriage comes to a halt, and Inspector Schultz gets out, and Administrator Talbot follows by her, and then the inspector waits for you guys to get out of the carriage with her. Now, for the second part of what we were going to show you, and I apologize if I had any idea that what was going to happen down in that basement was going to happen, I surely wouldn't have taken you down there. But we thought it would be important for you to see these things so that you knew exactly what you were dealing with when you go out.
It was.
Yes.
It
We've learned
was.
quite a bit, and
I'm
do
glad
not
we
fear
were.
for our safety.
Yes. Well, that's why we are asking
So
you.
very well, Inspector.
Thank you. I tried. I don't like being at the undead rattle me. It's a hard thing for me to deal with. But anyways,
Do not worry about them. As you saw, my companions were easily able to dispatch the 2 or 3 that they saw.
yes, leftover from your 100. Yes, as I saw.
Turtles move faster than people give them credit for.
And apparently up and walls and across ceilings as well. Yes, I've never seen your kind before or anyone else doing that. It's very entertaining. Please follow me. I'm going to take you now to see this Tobald Gurner.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
a little trick I picked up far from here.
A galaxy far away. Well, we can't get into that. I'm sure there's got to be some sort of trademark or something.
Disney, if you would like to be a sponsor.
Yeah, right.
Please don't sue us.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think you can say 1/2. You can get away with 1/2. You said it like if it was a long time ago, then
Yeah. I think you're right.
Wouldn't that be funny though if Disney like took the time to come fuck with us?
To tell you the truth, if they did, we can't buy that kind of publicity.
Yeah, right.
There's no such thing as bad press.
That's true.
All right, let's just start playing like Luke Skywalker and just do it like as much copyright infringement as we can.
Yeah, we'll be on somebody's news station for it soon enough.
Right.
Okay, so Inspector Schultz then starts walking across the compound, leading you towards within the keep itself. It's got a wall to it, and there is a couple of more smaller stone buildings that are within this compound that are not necessary. They're not connected to the keep, and she takes you to one, goes right through, and it's a bright autumn day outside. And as you guys pass through into this stone building, the light automatically, once you're passed through the threshold, it is very dim in there. It takes your eyes a second to adjust, and then they close the door. The first room in which you go into is a large room with many doors in there, and a couple of large round tables, and around these tables are a number of guards. And in the back of the room, where there's no doors, there is provisions and different things for there's kegs of water and racks that have sacks of different types of food stuff and things along these lines. In another corner, there's some basins and things along this. So it's obviously supplies for taking care of the prisoners that are here. Everybody, as Inspector Schultz walks past them, snaps to attention. Same thing in here. When she comes in, everybody in here, like, if they were doing something, they stop and they turn around and they get an attention. And she goes straight up to one rather rotund fellow who seems to have, he has an extremely large belt on, and there's just an insane amount of keys tucking and hanging off of this guy's belt. As he turns, it's all like, he's got that rattle of keys. Oh, yes, Inspector. Yes, are you here to see the prisoner? And he says, "But of course." And I don't know why she's speaking French now, but so then the jailer just waddles over to a door, opens it. You guys go through. You're following the jailer. Goes down a pretty long hall. There's doors along the hall, and then he goes to basically the end, opens a door, and allows you guys to go in. And I will go ahead and change the map at this time. Dun, dun, dun. And I forgot to put the door on. But
As we're like walking through, when we kind of pass by the big guy, I just kind of point at him and kind of whisper a little bit, and only he hears my message that his pants are about to fall down. Just keep on walking.
he gets incredibly worried and starts like grabbing at his my pants. Who's that? But then it's like after all of you come in, he just automatically shuffles out, and as he shuffles out, you know, he's all he's doing is like pulling at his pants. All right, guys can go ahead and drop your tokens onto the
We
map.
don't see it. You didn't move. You didn't move.
Oh, there's the map here.
Yeah, you must.
The room, table, chairs.
Yeah,
I don't. Let me refresh.
yeah, you're probably just.
Oh, you know what? Yeah.
See, I feel a little bit better
Because
because
in Orlando, if you'd like to be a spot, you know, just do it, man. I don't care.
All right. So the only one, oh yeah, okay, he's refreshing. I'm sorry. Oh, you want to? That's right. I'm sorry, I was interrupting your fun.
Yeah, playing a little game.
All right, and let me get the inspector.
Well, somebody can't count very well. There's not enough chairs in here for everyone. What will you all do?
Yes. What would you do? All right, let me go ahead.
I go over and sit in one of the chairs. So
change the
stand.
map.
How easily can you fit into a normal human chair?
well, we find out.
You
Don't
probably
we?
need to.
There we go. Make
As a matter
sure
of
you
fact,
got-
let me slide this chair over with this chair. Now that's much better. These two chairs together are a lot more comfortable than that one was.
Okay, and for a jail cell area, this place looks pretty decent. Here, let me freehand over there. That's the door right there, guys. That you just came in. You see what I drew it with the purple, so you knew. Yes. No, it's over on the side.
Oh yeah.
Oh, now I see it.
There you go.
There it is.
So, and then there is another burly officer of the watch in here, and he was sitting like at this desk playing cards. And then when the inspector came in, he like got up, got an attention. He's all, you know, not saying anything, and the inspector walks over and. There behind the bars is what used to be an extremely well-dressed man. His clothes are well, not extremely torn or anything, but it seems like he's been sleeping in the same set of clothes for some time. There's a bed in there, and then you can see there's a chair and a table. But he does have a barred window, you know, right there. And this room is actually at the corner of this building, so it actually has windows in it. So, and there he is. Schultz walks over, and this gentleman is Tobald Gurner. And he was on the bed when you came in, like just lounging. But when you came in, he, you know, got up and started walking over, and he seems very curious, and he just kind of, he puts his hands like through the bars and is holding on and say, no, he's not German, what do we have here? No, somebody else speak. I got to get out of this German accent.
It's been so long. I don't remember what he sounds like.
I don't remember what he sounds like either. Wasn't he like Spanish or something?
No, he was French.
Oh, but
Yeah,
he sounded
kinda.
Spanish.
Well, you know, for some time I might have sounded like I had one particular accent or another, but you know, now, anyway. Inspector Schultz, I see that you have brought some people for me to see. Yeah, that's it. I got it.
While they're talking, I point at Yahg and whisper with the message spelled to him and ask, "Do we have to break him out of prison too?"
No, he belongs here.
Oh, okay.
And Schultz is like, feel free to go ahead and ask him whatever questions it is that you wish. We have not been able to do anything for him as to get him to reveal anything yet, but as opposed to torturing him, we're going to put him through some magical questioning now that the Starcoat has arrived, so that he.
Well, why don't you get him a fresh set of clothes and something nice to eat?
When-
Giving him some hospitality usually goes a long way towards helping lighten people up a little bit. I mean, would you feel inclined to talk
Yeah.
staying in that dingy little place? I don't even see a wash basin in there. Come
Now,
on, let's
Gad,
liven this place up a little bit.
Gad, my dear fellow, this man steals other men's souls.
I do nothing of the sort. You
That's
have
no
completely
reason to treat him
mistaken
in
me
such
for
squalid
someone else.
conditions.
I
Hold
agree
on.
with this
It says-
turtle. This
you-
turtle is saying the right thing to say. How am I supposed to live in such squalor?
You deny. You haven't stolen people's souls.
Of course not. I am no musician. I don't know how to do these things.
Have you
Perhaps-
hired people to steal souls?
I
No.
say, well, it's clear that you did not do it yourself just by looking at you.
Ah,
Who are you?
of
working
course,
for?
insulting me will get me to spill all of my beans for you.
I
Yes,
just take out
please
my
continue.
I just take out my wand and hold it casually.
And when you do that, Inspector Schultz comes over to you and just kind of rests her hand on your wand and goes, please. And that's all
Oh,
she
no
says.
torture.
Inspector,
I
you
have
said
a. Go ahead.
you haven't used truth magic on him yet. Is that correct?
Not as of yet, but we are going to very soon. We were waiting for all the correct amount of people to be here before we did such a thing. If you so wish, you could wait until the Starcoat is here. That's really what we were waiting for. He wanted to be present.
Sure.
And are we sure that we don't want to just allow Yang to join him in the cell for a few moments?
No.
Maybe get him to speak.
We are not barbarians, and we are not the type of people that conduct such things. As much as he might deserve it, we don't.
Mr. Gurner, sir, if you did not steal anyone's souls, why do you think someone else would go through such an action? Why would someone steal the souls of so many people?
Well, I'm afraid that I'm not at the liberty to say anything about these things. You see, you, and you, and he's just like pointing at all of you guys. You don't scare me, but the person
I
that,
go over and walk up the wall and hang from the ceiling. And I wave at him. Hi down there, and then I point at him, and I whisper at him. So tell me all of your deepest and darkest secrets. Of course, only he can hear that whispering in his mind.
he like, as if he's like shushing away a fly. He's like, and your magics mean nothing to me. I'm sure soon you'll have your Circle of 8 man in here and you'll pump me for all the information that I'm worth. But until then, I'm not giving up anything. The person that is
Well,
behind
wouldn't
all
it
of
be less
this, I'm
painful to do it
far
now
more
as I start to
afraid of
juggle
than
an
you.
axe upside down?
No. Again, you don't scare me as much as the person behind these things.
But so you're not just completely innocent then?
Of course I'm not innocent. I was doing a lot of these things. I'm making a lot of money. But unfortunately, things have changed. Unfortunately. But these things happen.
I see. So you admit to being part of something, if not directly stealing souls.
Of course. You are correct. Very much so.
And who did create that circle and steal their souls?
Well, the one who was actually in charge of doing this sort of thing was a rather nasty little gnome. I don't feel too much bad about telling you that.
And where is
Okay.
he now?
Well, I don't know. And frankly, I'm afraid I'll probably find out soon enough. And
Does
then
gnome have a name?
the door opens up, and in comes the Starcoat. You're like, how the hell did you get here so fast? I mean, you guys took the the carriage and all that, But
I assume he just teleported because he's fucking awesome.
yeah, he's a wizard of the Circle of Hate. He goes, yes. So,
Shortcut to the astral plane or something.
Inspector, this is this Tobald Gurner you told me about. Interesting. Well, let's get this on with.
I just move and stand next to him.
Yeah. Now, Zone of Truth, they don't have to tell the truth, but they can't tell a
No, but-
lie. Is
Right.
basically-
I am, by the way, putting on a hell of a performance up there on the ceiling. So
Yeah. So how it works is
If that's the case, then Yahg would go sit with his back against the wall and survey the whole situation. But part of the whole situation is this hell of a performance on the ceiling.
Yeah.
yeah, it can't tell.
I've learned to
lie.
ignore God.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't
So-
even notice.
He pulls out a scroll, and Starcoat does, and he starts unraveling it. You peek at it? Oh.
Yes.
As he does that, the door comes flying open, and one of the watch comes running in and goes, "We think we found the gnome. We've got him cornered in a building over in some other part of the city, so forth and so on." And the inspector's like, "Excellent, quick, let us go to try and find him."
As soon
you
as he
lot
says
stay-
that, I turn and run toward the door.
No, and Inspector Schultz, as he starts running towards the door, actually the Starcoat stops you, and he goes, "No, this is too important." And he puts the scroll into your hand. He goes, "I trust you men to interrogate this prisoner thoroughly. I don't know when an assassination attempt might happen on him, and this could be a ploy to lure us away. But if it is possibly his counterpart, I can't be left alone." And in great D&D fashion, these guys are going to leave so that you can question them.
All right, well, I bow and say, "Master Starcoat, we shall not let you down."
Excellent. We'll be back as soon as we can. And the
I kind
inspector.
of wanted.
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking to myself, I kind of wanted to show how badass we were by killing the gnome, but I guess we'll interrogate this guy. I see. So the rest of you just notice I seem a little disappointed. That's all.
And for all those who are listening on the podcast, he said he's a little disappointed.
Someone could hear me again.
Hey, at least it wasn't on mute.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So they turn around and they leave, and he gave you the scroll to use, and
So I'm assuming it's the Zone of Truth scroll, and I'll read it.
it is. Okay. So you're gonna go ahead and cast it, and
Yes.
Tobald Gurner, he comes up and he just stands at the bar. He's not attempting to go run into the corner. You can't get me. He's not doing any of that sort of stuff. He's right up at the bar. And so
probably enjoying the performance, I'm sure.
he actually grabs the chair that's in his cell and brings it up to the bar and sits down, and he sits down.
All right.
Okay.
I'm just gonna stand here.
Yahg has taken out a sandwich from his bag, and he offers half of it to the guard standing next to him.
Hey, thanks, man. That's pretty. Hey, hold on a second. And he goes over and he opens up one of the drawers and he pulls out a bag. It's got a bunch of dried fruit and nut, kind of like trail mix sort of thing. And he goes, "Here, this is pretty good. My wife made it."
He kind of holds it like cheers, sandwich up.
Oh yeah. And then he opens up the other drawer and he pulls out these 2 big bottles of beer and he pulls the stoppers out of them and he gives one to you.
It's touched. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. And then he sits down to watch the show.
Yeah, I say before I start, I look up at Gad and just say, "Do us all a favor and keep your eye on the door, just to make sure nothing else comes in unexpectedly."
Well, of course.
Uh-huh.
And I immediately
Because
close
I don't
my
even
eyes,
I don't
'cause
even
that's
look
part,
over it
That's the
at
part
Yang.
of the performance I'm in.
Yeah, and I don't even look at Yang because I'm assuming he's having a drink with the jailer.
He is.
No, see, he's actually, without you asking, doing what you asked Gad to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yahg, not Yang.
Yahg, sorry.
Yahg. That's all right.
I don't know your name either.
Yeah. But he is pretty sure that you're going to cast Hex on somebody. And then all those who don't get that joke reference, watch the previous episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Watch Silverwolf try to cast a spell and return to the Bandit Kingdom.
There you go. Okay, so Gurner, he's not resisting it all either. He allows the spell to take full effect on him.
Say, well, it seems you have nothing to hide, Mr. Gurner.
No, I have plenty to hide, but I am also a very smart man and realize when certain situations are no longer feasible to resist. I mean, the amount of firepower here is going to crack my brain open and pull out the information one way or the other, no?
Altus?
Well,
and I
prefer not to do that, but Mr. Gurner, why would you or whomever you work for be stealing the souls of so many poor people?
Honestly, in that result, I don't know. All I know is what we were doing and why we were doing it.
So some higher power, so to speak, recruited you to do this, but you're not sure why?
No, to tell you the truth, I have my suspicions. I know for one thing, I know it has something to do with this individual they keep calling the Master.
The Master.
Yes.
What do you know of this Master?
Well, I know that he is currently not here, and they're waiting for his coming again. Supposedly some kind of big important to do. I guess he was somebody of great importance at one time, and he's not anymore. But this I know. I also know that the county, this part down here, not so much what he's super interested in. I know that the lands that he really craves are up in the Bandit Kingdoms.
Oh, the Bandit Kingdoms.
Yes. Who would have thunk it? Those lands full of a bunch of cutthroats and those the types of rats and scoundrels. Who would have thought that those were the people that they would be interested in?
You're here to answer questions, not to editorialize.
Pardon me. I thought that was being helpful.
We could learn more from his speech as well. He can't deliberately speak a lie now, so...
Of course not. I'm assuming that you come from bandit lineage, even though you're dressed all in immaculate white and have the pointy ears of an elf. Otherwise, why would you be so insulted for me insulting the cutthroats and bandits that live across the Tonsame?
I'm not insulted by anything that you say, you worthless swine.
Oh, no, please, don't insult me like that again. I don't think my ego could take it.
Ooh. See, he's being sarcastic, which is kind of a lie. So he's actually telling the truth. I'm getting to him.
Yeah, look at that. Oh my goodness.
So Mr. Gurner, what were you how were you compensated for your role in this endeavor?
Oh, they gave me much gold. A lot of gold. They knew that I had a lot of connections here, and they wanted to get a bunch of people that would not be missed. And so I helped them with these endeavors.
People who would not be missed?
Yes, people who would not be missed, like those bandits, the refugees. Correct. That is it. But this is not the only place where they are running this racket. They are doing it in other places too. This much I know for sure. Yes.
And these souls are then needed to bring this master back, it sounds like.
Unfortunately, no. This is one thing that I was able to learn. And I'm sure now that my life is meaningless, and soon I'm sure they'll be coming to kill me. I don't really mind telling you so much. They're recruiting. They're trying to find the right people to send somewhere. This I know. So what they are doing is they're going and getting a whole bunch of people. They're putting them through the ringer, and then their hopes are to get as many scoundrels and cutthroats that are capable enough to go and do something for this master that will bring him back. That I know, but that is it.
Diabolical.
Exactly. Completely diabolical.
Yes. People don't deserve to be treated this way, even if they maybe have made some mistakes.
I agree, and this is exactly what I told them. Nah, that's a lie.
You were just in it for the money, weren't you, Mr. Gurner?
Well, I was a very rich man for a long time. I ran into some troubles, but I've always had a dealing with the riff-raff and the undercurrent of the Radaghast and here in the Gambit. But it is what it is.
Who will be coming for you? You're so certain you'll be marked for death. Who do you fear showing up?
Oh, you've never seen them before. The people that I've seen, that I've known, they're not the gnomes. The gnomes are fanatical. They do anything. Creepy little sons of bitches, but the ones that will be coming for me, completely different. They look like your friend here. And he points at, let me see, I'd say Aelar. But they're very different. I've heard stories of they have something like the drow, these kind of people, the elves from underground with the black skin. But they're not. They are gray skinned. But they look like these guys. But they're not. They'll be coming for me. You might have heard of one of them. His name is Zaran. Zaran Smoke.
He's coming for you?
Oh, most definitely. I'm sure as soon as the opportunity presents itself and they can get at me, that they'll be cleaning up this loose end. The thing that I'm very wondering about, though, is all them souls. What they're just going to leave those souls there? I wonder what because every once in a while they would go and then they would take a couple of those souls and go and take them someplace else to do something with them. But then, I don't know.
So you were the middleman, you were the connections, but you don't know the actual plan.
No, I do not at all. These were workings that were far beyond my lowly level of involvement.
Do you know any names besides this Smoke character?
I do. That little creepy gnome that your friends go rushing off to go find. His name is Ballister. He's extremely powerful. Don't be fooled by his little demeanor and his crazy purple hair. He is a very strong and powerful wizard. He's the one. He's the one that conducted the rituals that sucked the souls.
And who initially approached you to be a part of this evil scheme?
It was one of those gray-skinned elves.
Does that gray-skinned elf have a name?
I don't remember that one. It was just a mouthpiece. After that, the gray-skinned elf, once he found that I was susceptible for interchange of money and doing business with them, they took me to go see this Ballister. And then that's where I met this fellow named Zarin.
What do I know anything about these gray-skinned elves, or?
You can roll.
There's three,
let's
or-
see. No, let's see. How would you?
I accidentally just said that. Hold on. That was a mistake.
Well, let's put it this way. That's not high enough, even because I'm looking for a nat roll, not a nat 20, but a natural roll of something. I mean, any of you can roll if you want, and if you get high enough, for some kind of way, you've heard something one way or the other. So if go, you
I
guys
listen to all kinds of stories. There's a chance I've heard of it.
Exactly. So especially somebody like you that collects them and whatnot, I would think.
Well, I still know more of nothing than they do.
Yep. Unless I get advantage, then I know all about it.
Could be.
No. Okay. So yep. And is Altus going to roll?
I don't think it's something he would probably know. He's been fairly closered up to at least the last 5 years.
Okay.
So.
All right. And then Yahg, you want to give it a
I
shot?
just straight D20. Is it a history or?
Nah, just give me a flat roll. I've got
I got
an
16.
okay. Yeah, you guys don't know what he's talking about. I mean, you've heard of elves before in different types. Hell, I mean, there's a plethora.
Well, I would hope I'd heard of an elf.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, there's a plethora of different types of elves as well, but you've never heard of gray-skinned elves, you know. So.
Well, he's under the zone of truth, so he can't just be making it up. I see.
Just because you believe something doesn't make it true.
Well, that's fair, but at least we know he's not just fabricating this out of nothing.
He believes it.
Exactly.
Myths and legends.
So
Okay.
what was next for you in all of this?
To just be rich and enjoy myself and enjoy life. That was it. I was not part of this operation as far as the pulling of the swords and the sending the people to different places. That was all the gray-skinned elves and the gnomes.
And you really felt like they were just going to allow you to live a long, happy life with your riches.
Well, they were doing so until things changed. It wasn't them who gave me up. It was some of those fools that I hired. I should have known better. But, it's like things happen, you know? I didn't
Shit happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have that bumper sticker on my carriage.
Indubitably.
Mr. Gurner, how long have you been performing this operation for these individuals?
For
Blue perception.
at least a year.
Hey, how are they getting in here?
Who? What?
Because that is what I've been trying to do is just survey the room.
Yes.
And where?
You don't need to roll perception because it's going to. You guys are going to see it here in 2 seconds.
I'm up on the ceiling, dancing all around.
Is
So
that where they're?
No.
Is that where they're coming
Was
from?
this enough time for me to get a short rest?
One thing actually
Sure.
I would have done once we were sitting in the carriage ride, I forgot to mention this, I'm sorry, but I can use my healer's kit on you to give you a bit more HP back.
Excellent.
So I would have done that on the ride over.
Okay.
Let me just look.
and we do get a short rest.
Sure.
Perfect.
Healer's kit, so 1d6. And you have 6 hit dice, right?
Yep.
Okay, so you get 13 HP back from that.
Awesome.
I don't think Song of Rest helps unless you're spending hit dice. So.
I am.
Yeah, if you're spending hit dice, then Song of Rest will come into play.
All right. What is?
Because I would sing to you.
Excellent.
Revitalize wounded allies during a short rest. You and allies who regain HP during short rest by spending 1 or more hit dice each gains an extra 1d6 of HP. So I'll go ahead and roll that.
Bum, bum, bum.
Aww. I was a little bit off key. Singing really isn't my thing.
Every little bit helps.
Well, thanks, guys, because I was down to 11 hit points, and with only spending 2 hit dice, I'm back up to 62. So, thank you kindly.
So, what happens as you're talking to them and whatnot? The temperature in the room actually drops. I mean, noticeably. And then through this window over here, a thick purple smoke just bellows in and starts coalescing on the floor. Tobald turns around and goes, "Oh dear." And then out of the smoke kind of like rises up into like columns, and then those columns coalesce, and then the smoke goes away, and then these guys are standing there, and these are gray-skinned elves. Their hair, now the hair on these guys here, because I'm just using drow figures for them, is white, but their hair is jet black. Their eyes are jet black. And
They're the opposite of me.
exactly, pretty much. And these two guys waste no time, and all they do is they just hurry up, go up, and they start stabbing the shit out of Tobald Gurner. They just come up and start, it's like a prison movie, and he's getting shanked the fuck out. And this guy comes over. He comes and he stands close to the bars, but not like within arm's reach. And he's looking at you guys back and forth, and he's speaking in some sort of language to these other guys. Now, this guy, hold on one second. This guy over here does pretty much the same thing. He walks over, and he's like talking back to him. Is it what?
Undercommon.
No, it is not. It is a completely different. Does anybody speak Elven? First of all, besides the elf. Okay. You notice that it's like hearing a language that has the same root language, okay? But the language itself is different enough that you don't really understand what they're saying.
Okay.
Can I make anything out or no?
No. And then, I mean, it only takes a little bit, and then this guy here.
But they're not drow.
No, they're not drow. You can definitely
And I
tell
know
they're
we
not
asked
drow.
this like in the first session of this.
Yeah.
Over.
Mhm.
But that was Silverwolf. That was.
Right, that wasn't. Aelar.
Yeah, because that's back when you guys first met Czar and Smoke, when the press game fanatics were in the opportunists, not fanatics, were in the jail cell in that very first episode. Czar and Smoke looks just like these guys, you know, and they don't look the same, but you can tell they're all the same race, whatever that is. And this guy over here that's in that what looks like purple and whatnot, he then speaks in it's a thickly like, well, is it? You should not try to follow us. It ends very bad for you. And then he says something to over, and all these other three guys all like start chuckling.
Insight.
He basically made a joke, a rude joke towards you guys, that whatever it was, you know, so they're just giggling about it. And then they all reach into their clothes and they pull out some sort of like either like a small crystal or something like that, and they chuck it at the ground, and you know, just like that ninja smoke shit. And they throw it at the ground, and it hits and explodes, and then this purple smoke starts billowing up.
Before they
obscuring
disappear,
them.
he needs a wisdom save.
Which one?
Purple. As I tell him that he's the ugliest looking elf I have ever seen.
Let's see what happens to him. I gotta see his saving throws.
I want to try to
Okay.
like memorize as much as I can about their features, particularly the guy in purple.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. Let's do this roll. Wisdom's not super great. Oh,
He's very
he's
hurt by my words.
he like squirts a little tear, and then it, fuck you! I know elf. Fuck elves! I know elf. He's like pissed, and like this dude right here that's right next to him, he like comes and puts his arm around him. He's like, "Hey man, it's okay."
I yell out because this guy, they're in the zone of truth. I yell out,
Oh,
"Are you fae or fiends?"
let me go ahead and make some more saves. That's a wisdom save, correct, for Zone of Truth?
Charisma.
Yeah.
It's a charisma save.
It is.
I like it even more.
Does it use my or does it use the?
Okay.
Scroll.
It used the scroll normally.
Yeah.
It would the scrolls
Oh,
DC.
yeah. Oh, look at that.
Now, if the scroll was created by one of the Circle of 8, you'd assume the DC is impossibly high, like a 30. But
You would
Yeah.
think, right? But I'm still going to give it a high DC. So hold on a second. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my goodness. 1 saved. But you don't know that, so they're in the zone of truth. Ask you, what was your question?
I say,
Actually-
what are you, Fae or Fiend?
As the caster, he does know someone
he knows
succeeds.
who
He knows.
succeeded.
Yeah.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Only one of them succeeded. And you say, are you a Fae or a Fiend? Is what you say?
I say, what are you? Are you Fae or Fiend?
One of them, not the guy who's crying. he's still distraught. The way he goes, Fae, Fiend. Nah. Used to be, maybe. Fae. No. We are never not Fae no more. We are the. One more
What
question.
are you?
We are the servants of the master. We come
Who is the
from the
master?
realm. We come from the shadow place. And at that, the purple smoke envelops him at that point. And then you can shout another question if you wish.
Who is the master?
Where are you going now?
Okay, the smoke clears, and they're gone.
I rush up. Can I reach Torvald through the bars?
He actually fell down when he fell down from getting shivved. He fell down closer towards the bar, so you could reach in and grab him.
Okay, I'm gonna first try, and I don't know if this will work, but I'm gonna try it. First cast, just spare the dying on him. I don't know if he's actually dead or not yet.
Oh, he's dead.
He's
'Cause
full
that-
on dead.
Yeah, because after your hit points are gone and they keep stabbing you like that,
Yeah,
those are
okay,
failed
okay,
death saves.
That's fine. Unfortunately, I don't have $300 worth or gold worth of diamonds on me.
Yeah, that's
but
not good.
nope. Okay.
Did he say Nefer or neither? Or neither?
He said neither.
Okay,
You think? You're pretty sure he said neither.
that's what I thought.
It is a bad accent.
Just making sure.
So, okay, so those guys are gone then. All right, let me see if I have it right. Yeah, okay. So, all right. So, what ends up happening next is you guys are basically just there. That watch jailer that was over there eating a sandwich and whatnot. He's just kind of like
Yeah.
shocked at what just happened. He was like, and eventually,
Can I just tell what spell that was that they used?
to
The
teleport.
Yeah, was it a teleport spell or?
Go ahead and because there's like some residual magic and whatnot. Give me an Arcana check. Let's see what kind of number you give me here.
I'll help you out.
Okay.
So you get the help action advantage.
Ooh. One more roll. Ah.
Working
Me
together, we
God.
figured it out.
Yeah, teamwork. That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
There was enough residual energy that you were able to discern that it wasn't really a teleport spell, even though it maybe appeared to have been. You think that was a dimensional transfer, sort of
So
like
they-
a different variation of like a dimensional door.
So they went back to the shadow place, is what I'm guessing.
Possibly. It's I mean, that's possible. I mean, they did say they were from the shadows,
Yeah.
right? So, whatever the hell that means. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so you guys wait for a little bit. It's probably like maybe 45 minutes. And then Warnes shows back up with the inspector. He's a little bit disappointed but he was afraid that something like this might happen. That's why he wanted you guys to question right away. And so he's very interested, and he sits down and he talks with you and questions you at length and in great detail as far as what happened, what transpired. And then basically after that's over, he says, he tells all of you, thank you very much, but he needs to take this information and go talk to some other people, and perhaps that you guys would meet again. That he's basically jets out. It's gone. Now, the inspector takes you to his house, and at his house,
Dude, whose house?
the inspector takes you.
Oh, I thought she
her
was a
house.
woman.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say he? Her house.
Yep.
Yeah, it takes you to her house, and there it is. Has dinner with you guys, and well, not dinner. He takes you there for lunch. It also has administrator Talbot comes with him. So you guys are all sitting around the table eating when this conversation happens, and it's the administrator that's doing the talking now, and the inspector's just kind of like turning the show over to him. So, well, I want to thank you, gentlemen, all for coming down. You've done a lot of great work for the Countess and the county in the past, and that's why we're hoping that you can continue this for us. As you can see, this is well, it's unprecedented, really, and we've had this something like this going on right under our noses, and well, we're not really happy about it at all. And we would like you to try and find some more information for us. It's basically what we need. We were able to discern that the last group of those poor souls that were, I always say poor souls, those poor individuals whose souls were taken from them were being ready to be sent to the Stoic area of the Bandit Kingdoms, and to meet up with a person by of all names, Axbeak. I don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean, but we would like you to go there. We would like you to go to Stoic and to try and find this Axbeak and find out some more information for us about what the world is going on.
Do you have any other names?
Unfortunately, no. We're pretty sure it's a code name, but we can't be for sure. You know, I mean, it is the Bandit Kingdoms, and you know, it could be a nickname and not a code name, if you know what I mean. Or I don't know.
How long ago were these people sent there?
No, you misunderstand. The group that we were able to apprehend was going to be sent there. And they were supposed to meet with an individual by the name of Axbeak when they got there. We do have the particulars of where they were supposed to meet this person, though, so you'll be able to, you know, go and snoop around a little, or, well, I don't know. Not to tell you gentlemen how to do your business. I'm sure you would know how to do something like that. Basically, find out some more information, and if you could capture this person and possibly bring them back so that we could interrogate them even properly here, especially after what just happened in the jail, in the keep. It's unprecedented. These people got through wards that it's unfathomable what they were able to do. I mean, to kill one of our prisoners in our own cells.
They moved very quickly. We had barely a chance to register they were there before their work was done, I'm afraid. And I unfortunately can't raise people from the dead. My lord.
But I got first blood. I got first blood.
I can make the corpse of Mr. Gurner stay fresher longer if you have someone who can bring him back to life, resurrect him.
His body's been taken into by some others to be delivered to this to the Starcoat himself. I think he has plans for it. Whatever it is, I'm not sure, but I'm sure he's got top people on it. But
of course,
yeah, I appreciate the offer.
course. I wish we could have done more. So this Axe Speak fellow, this is the person we're looking for and who you'd like us to return to if possible. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do you feel, because I have a slight concern that this Axe Speak might be marked among these gray elves as a target as well. If we were to encounter them, I assume we could... I don't think we're going to get much out of them.
No, but if you could capture some of them too, that'd be great. Or even bring back a body.
Right.
I mean, it's not the surest far way of getting information, but at least we could try.
Very well, gentlemen. For the honor of the Countess, and I slam my hand down at the table and say, the game is afoot to the Bandit Kingdoms.
Here, here!
Such a troubled land.
I know, right? Okay. Well, we are a little bit early, but we are going to end the session there. I mean, we endured the people to no audio for a little while again. You know, who knew that unchecking mute was such a thing for me?
Yeah.
Like a whole crew, and you get your sound guys, and
Right? See, I need
thanks
people.
to
I need
so-and-so,
people.
They make that all happen.
Yeah. I mean, I have enough problems trying to remember all these damn voices that are rolling around in my head doing this stuff, you know? You know, the German guy sounds like a French guy, sounds like a Spanish guy.
Hear those voices too.
They do, because otherwise, really, what do we have? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, hopefully it wasn't too long. I think it was just maybe about 5
It was
minutes.
about 10 minutes or so.
Was it about 10 minutes?
Yeah.
I don't think it was. Yeah, hopefully it wasn't too. Anyway, so
So
Hey!
thanks to Verona for letting us know, by the way. She was the one
Yes.
who apparently was
Thank you.
frantically trying to get us to realize and sent me a message via Facebook.
yes, I know. Thank you, Verona.
Thank you. Since none of
So-
us were looking at chat, so
No.
I guess.
No, and that's that's one of the things too is like when I'm not doing the producing, I have those other windows open and stuff. But to cut down on the
Yeah.
drain on the computer, I don't have a lot of that stuff open so that it doesn't, you know.
Yeah. I had it open on one of my phones, my personal phone, but it
Yeah.
died.
There you go. So, hey,
Luckily, my burner was still working, so.
I want to say thank you to everybody for watching this. This is 24, right? Yeah. Episode 24
Yeah.
of Return to the Bandit Kingdoms. And I hope you enjoyed our little detour into some of the other things that are going on in the storyline. And I hope you enjoyed these new characters. We will be seeing them again next week before we will be going back to see the TPK. The Great Escape. There we go.
Yeah,
There
the
it
greatest.
is.
There you go.
The Great Escape from
And
Kidmeat
so-
of our dear and favorite press ganged opportunists. So, all right,
It's
everybody.
weird playing someone who cares about other people.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's like I kept going. It's like the entire time. It's like you guys would do something. I go, huh? The other guys wouldn't do that.
And we worked together for the first time in 20
I know,
minutes.
That was pretty impressive. It was.
It wasn't the players; it was the characters all along.
You're right.
And I
Maybe
wasn't
escape
evil
can be
once.
The best thing that could happen to us.
Right. So
Come
good.
back, kill Ius together.
Indubitably.
Wasn't evil, wasn't creepy, didn't talk to dead
Yeah.
people.
I like
know,
Yahg.
right?
I really like
I
Yahg.
like Guy too. Yeah, he's good.
Uh-huh.
All right. Hey, everybody. Again, thank you for tuning in. We will catch you next Tuesday. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Veteran recruits in a magic house. Raleigh fed her a dead mouse. She was powerful beyond compare, with her crazy fucking hair, telling stories in a creepy voice. Had to follow her, we had no choice. She loved everyone, all the men, not beholden to the Duchy of Tan. Never was one to cry. Never thought she would die. Split her open and let her decay. Scoop her up and be on our way. Had to listen, she was our guide. We were nasty and hurt her pride. Gave us weapons to get on her side. Made herself pretty in the night. Food and drink were all around. In her presence we were safe and sound. They killed her when we were not around. Probably should have put her in the ground. Never was one to cry. Never thought she would die. Split her open, let her decay. Scoop her up and be on our way. 6.5 pounds of salad.